Hello everyone and welcome back to another must-see chess game between two chess legends, between two 19th century chess legends, Wilhelm Steinitz with the white pieces and his opponent is Joseph Henry Blackburne, the Black Death of chess, who is playing with the black pieces. So this was from a match which happened in London in 1862. Blackburne and Steinitz, they played another match in 1876, and that match ended in a disaster for Joseph Henry Blackburne. The first player to score 7th win was going to be victorious in that match. When Steinitz scored the 7th win, Blackburne scored no wins at all. It was 7-0. Steinitz defeated Blackburne 7-0. What a disaster for Joseph Henry Blackburne. Okay, so this is 1862 and let's see what happened in this chess game from December 15, 1862, London, England. So this is the first game of that match. Unfortunately, there are not so many informations about this match. So let's see what happened in this very interactive first game between Steinitz and Blackburne. Steinitz starts the game with pushing the e-pawn. We have b6, d4, bishop to b7, bishop to d3, e6, developing the knight. So black is actually playing the Owen defense, which was very popular in those years. The founder of the Owen defense was John Owen. g6, bishop to e3, bishop to g7, queen to d2. So activating the pieces and developing the pieces rapidly by both players. f4 by Wilhelm Steinitz, and Blackburne castled. f5, immediately charging, e takes, and of course not capturing back with the g-pawn and weakening the king side. So knight to f6, and then Steinitz played bishop to h6, a tempting move, queen to d7, and then extra defense on the f-pawn, rook over, and then queen in, and already Wilhelm Steinitz is threatening something. Can you see the threat for Wilhelm Steinitz? What is the threat? A very energetic and a dynamic play by Wilhelm Steinitz. Well, of course, Blackburne was not born yesterday. He played bishop takes on h6, he saw the threat, and then queen takes on h6. The threat was this: after queen to g5, if an amateurish, a Patzer-like move like, let's say, a5, then bishop takes on g7, king takes on g7, and opening the f-file and attacking the knight. And this is looking extremely dangerous. So if moving the knight, capturing the pawn with check, and that doesn't look very good for black, isn't it? So black can't move the knight, of course. F takes on g6, and this is defending the knight. And what would you do in this position? There is a very simple problem in this position, a very basic beginner level problem. So can you see the threat for white? What would you do? Of course, rook takes on f6, rook takes on f6, and then knight to h5, forking the king and the rook. The g-pawn is pinned. After king to f6, this is family fork, because if king to g7, queen takes rook, and then black is getting checkmated on g7. So this was the threat by Wilhelm Steinitz. And then queen in, this is why bishop takes on h6, queen takes on h6, king over, knight back, and apparently Blackburne wants to simplify the game, and knight to f4, and moving the knight and simplifying the game, rook over, simplifying even more and going for the endgame, pushing the pawn. But now Wilhelm Steinitz has the e-file, bishop to d5. So this move is, of course, Blackburne wants to fight for the open e-file, which was very important. So this move is not attacking the a-pawn. Blackburne wants to go back and then support the rook and fight for the e-file. c4, but bishop goes back, and then d5, but now fighting for the open file, king up, rook in. So if capturing the rook, it looks like Blackburne is going to have a strong center. b3, h5, and then exchanging the rooks. In this position, f takes is not recommended because of knight to e4 attacking the pawn, and if g4 then h3, and if capturing the pawn, capturing back, and white is going to have the g file and it is looking very dangerous for black. So of course this position favors for white. White is little bit more better in this position. So rook takes on e5, d takes on e5, and then knight to e4 by Wilhelm Steinitz. So far so good. Both players are doing pretty good job actually. But now Blackburne has weaknesses, so king is extra defending on f6, knight back, pushing the pawn, and then bishop to e4, exchanging, but Wilhelm Steinitz created a pass pawn. Knight to e4, Blackburne is attacking the d pawn, defending, and knight goes back. So knight to d6 is on the cards, but this gives Wilhelm Steinitz the tempo. Rook to c1, knight attacks the bishop, but Steinitz is checking the king, king up, and then bishop to d3, e4, bishop to c4. Well, bishop to b1 was the better move. Knight takes on f5, bishop takes on e4, and actually white is doing very well. Also, as you can see, attacking the a pawn, so this is looking very good for white. So bishop to d3, e4, but now another energetic move by Wilhelm Steinitz. Bishop to c4, knight takes on f5, but Steinitz also captured the a pawn, pushing the pawn and then lining the rook with the king. And Blackburne wants to burn Wilhelm Steinitz with knight to d4, checking the king, king up, and then pushing the pawn, going all the way. Rook to h7 by Wilhelm Steinitz, knight to d4, king to d3, and then king to g8. Well, if pushing the pawn, we have this interesting continuation, checking the king, and black has to stay close to the rook, capturing and defending the e-pawn. So black has to take, and then king back and attacking the dangerous pawn. This e-pawn is going to fall, and then capturing, knight takes on e2, king takes on e2, and actually this pawn endgame in this position is winning for white, believe it or not. If f5, so black has the pawn majority in the king side, white has the pawn majority in the queen side, and the black king is looking more dominant, but actually interestingly white is better. So king to c5 and then a3, not allowing king to b4. That was a big threat. And in this position, can you see the threat for white? Of course, that is h4. h4 is a big threat, breaking the pawns, and the king can get in. So king to d5, h3, a waiting move, king to e5, h4, and now what? So black is always going to be busy babysitting in the queen side, but white is going to collect the pawns. So f4 is not going to work. Nothing is working actually. And after a4, as you can see, this is going to be winning for white. White can push the b pawn, pushing the pawn, marching all the way. So white is winning, and this is losing for black. So this is why Blackburne didn't want to go for the endgame. He played king to g8. And now it looks like this is a losing position for Wilhelm Steinitz. Interesting, isn't it? So this is attacking the rook. And after defending the rook, pushing the pawn, and white can resign. What would you do in this position? Wilhelm Steinitz played a very exciting move. In this position, Wilhelm Steinitz picked his rook, and he played rook to e7. What a move, what a move. And what else? This is both attacking the rook, and after capturing the rook with check, capturing the pawn, so black has to capture the rook, but then d6, check, and also attacking the rook, rook over, and then capturing the knight, but the rook is pinned. King to f8, king up, supporting the d-pawn, and defending at the same time, defending the e-pawn. It looks extremely risky for white. King over, king in. And now in this scenario, in this position, white king is very dominant. King to d8, and then capturing on b6. Of course, in this position, white can never take the rook because of pushing the pawn and then queening. But now capturing the b pawn, Steinitz was also going after the b pawn. And he created actually three passed pawns, two connected passed pawns, outside pawns. And this looks very dangerous for Blackburne. f5. So Blackburne also wants to create passed pawns. a4, rook down, king over defending, pushing the pawn by Wilhelm Steinitz. Full steam ahead, going all the way. But this time, pushing the b pawn, rook back, pushing the pawn, checking the king, and now what? So this is looking extremely dangerous. King down, but now in this position, Steinitz push the pawn, a deflection move, king takes on d8, and after a7, Joseph Henry Blackburne resigned. At one point, it looked like he was winning, but actually he can't stop the a-pawn. A-pawn is going all the way, and it is going to be a queen. So king to d7, and then white queens. And this is all over for Joseph Henry Blackburne. What a game, what an exciting chess game. A chess game with ups and downs. Both players had their chances, but eventually, at the end of the day, Wilhelm Steinitz is winning. So this is why Joseph Henry Blackburne resigned. So this was perhaps their first ever encounter in the database, and in their first game, Wilhelm Steinitz defeated Blackburne from 1862 in their first game in their matches. They also played many casual games around those years, so maybe we will check out some other interactive chess games between these two. So in this position, after a7, Blackburne resigned because you can't defend this a-pawn if rook to a6, bishop takes rook, of course. So this is why Joseph Henry Blackburne resigned. And what do you think about this chess game? Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.